So there has been no word from cabinet members after the special cabinet meeting held today. The extraordinary meeting, which was called of the Federal Executive Council, presided over by President Muhammadu Buhari at the presidential villa, has ended. The meeting held a day ahead of the regular FEC meeting, which holds Wednesdays every week. Before the meeting today, President Buhari attended the Armed Forces Remembrance Day in Abuja and then officially recognized the new Inspector General of Police. No reason has been given for the meeting, but it is believed it may not be unconnected with security matters.
I cannot, because it's work in progress. It will also be discussed by the National Economic Council before we can come out to brief the media.
Everyone, get a seat. Let's talk about the elections that are just about a month away, and some of the crucial things that concerns you. Some of the politicians are already talking. They are raising flags, red flags, and they're talking about the gray areas in what INEC has released. To our main topic, everyone, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has published the regulations and guidelines for the conduct of polls. The 33 or so page document encompasses the general elections, by-elections, rerun elections, and supplementary elections. Well, it shall also remain in force until replaced by new regulations or amendments supported by a decision extract of the Commission on Official Gazette. Among the key highlights covered by the document are the dates of the general elections, those eligible to vote, as well as polling units, polling officials, and polling agents, and the mode of voting and accreditation. The umpire affirms that it will employ the simultaneous voting and accreditation system. The guidelines stipulates that voting shall be in accordance with the continuous accreditation and voting system. Procedures are specified by the Commission. This confirms that INEC is sticking to its guns in its adoption of the simultaneous accreditation and voting, despite objections from the People's Democratic Party and other opposition parties. The objections were raised after INEC released the voting procedures last week, and this process is enshrined in the regulations and guidelines. The document also seeks to address anticipated areas of controversy by declaring that where no candidate meets the requirements of the majority of votes cast and electoral two-thirds, a runoff election shall be organized by the Commission within 21 days in line with the constitutional provisions. Let's get perspectives on this one, everyone. It does look like of giving you an understanding of what this may look like. Let me get my panel to weigh in on this one. I have from our Abuja studio to discuss on these issues the Chief Press Secretary to the Chairman of INEC, Mr. Rotimi Oyekomi, and also the presidential candidate of the Sustainable National Party of Nigeria, SNP, Ahmed Buhari, and also Mr. Akin Oshintokun, a former presidential advisor and one of the spokespersons of the PDP Presidential Campaign Council. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for coming on the program today. Let me begin with you, Mr. Akin Oshintokun. It does look like your party has raised that flag and spoken loudly about this. And now that INEC has officially released this, what are your main concerns ahead of the election with these guidelines?
Well, you know, the party has made known its observations in writing, and also the CUPP has done the same thing. Now, and having said that, in general, those seven steps and indications that were highlighted by INEC, they are by themselves. You know, I don't want to use the word platitude, but it looks okay on paper. We'll see how it works in practice. The objections or the area of objections or difficulties that we find about the preparation of INEC for the elections have been iterated over and over again. One, the president, as you speak, has not signed the electoral bill. I think that is now an academic question, because I think it's the deadline for the signing has lapsed. Second, is the issue of the lady, Amina Zakari, that we raised as regards a conflict of interest, as regards the principle of conflicts of interest. Nothing has been done about it. And then lately, that was reinforced, by the manipulations going on to stampede the Chief Justice of Nigeria out of office. Now, when you are conducting an election, you are undertaking any venture, there's always what you call a letter and spirit of what you want to say. You can have very good ideas on paper. You can conform with, and that is a very familiar characteristics of Nigeria. The policy, the problem of Nigeria has not been the lack of good policies, but it's the implementation gap, the translations of those policies into practice. We find the same, we are in the same instance as we speak, that even though the letter of what the INEC has proposed to do looks good on paper, but there are these extraneous factors and variables that I have just highlighted, that in all fairness, the effect or the impact they have generated is to have compromised, the elections in advance. Now, INEC said something which has been one of the problems, and probably will also feature again, is that the security agencies act during those elections period as if they are a law unto themselves, that they are accountable to no one. Now, INEC has taken notice of that, and by doing that has also drawn attention to that potential area of danger. That on that day, all security agencies, acting, as far as the conduct of the election is concerned, they are subordinate to the authority of the INEC. So I hope Nigerians and those of us who are going to vote and everything will also take this into consideration, because this has not been the case in previous elections. So you can have what you call the hand of Esau or the voice of Jacob, but as I've told you, as far as INEC is concerned, they are going to operate within the law that is given to them. And to that extent, they appear to be prepared for the elections.
Okay, Mr. Oshitokun, let me bring in the...
Not by what...
just a moment, if I may butt in quickly. Mr. Ahmed Buhari, who is a presidential candidate, your name is on the ballot, that of your party is also, and then we need to ask whether or not you are satisfied with the guidelines laid down by INEC.
Thank you very much. First of all, let me pay my respect to all serving, retired, and fallen heroes. And I want to also categorically state that I've been at several meetings organized by INEC to educate the electorate, to educate party chairmen and also candidates. And in all of these meetings and in all of these presentations, and after going through the documents, I think we must commend INEC. They have done a lot of work to put together a document that looks good on paper, like was earlier mentioned. However, what I think we should be clamoring for right now is to ensure that the security personnel and INEC would act independently through the process of elections, because oftentimes we've seen how security personnel will be a bit biased or support the opposition, support the ruling party over the opposition, or as the case may be. Our plea is that there should be a fair and level playing field for all. And on the part of INEC, I also would be glad if we do not have any hiccups along the way, especially when it comes to announcements and things like that, which normally would create unnecessary tension amongst the electorate and the citizenry. And again, with regards to some calls for Mrs. Amina Zakari to step down because she was appointed, I want Nigerians to get to the point of understanding that It doesn't matter if my brother or my sister or my cousin is involved in anything when it comes to the governance of the country. If she has the qualification, if she has merited the opportunity or the opportunity to serve in that capacity, then I think by all means we should accept it and actually, pay more attention to whether she's got the substance. I think we have become a people who would just prefer to chase shadows over the substance of what we're expecting from the individuals or the matter at hand. And this has become really, really unnecessarily distracting.
Okay. From that moment, let us take a breather, everyone. We will allow INEC to weigh in on this and respond to some of these issues. I have a few issues to gray areas in the guidelines, which I'll also be asking INEC and get the reactions of the political parties and politicians represented on the program today. But we'll take a moment, and when we come back, we'll dig more into the areas of the guidelines of INEC ahead of the 2019 election. That's after this break. Join us again, everyone.